Good evening, this is my week 2 video submission for my MRI class, and my name is Josue Daniel Warcaya-Zina, and we're going to be answering the following 3 questions that we have for week 2. Let's start with number 1. It says, walk through the steps you need to take to set up the scan room for a new exam. The steps is definitely make sure that everything is clean and ready for before the patient's arrival, meaning blankets and pillowcases have been switched. Make sure everything's been disinfected and cleaned thoroughly. Make sure the right coil is set up for the right coil for the body extremity is set up before the patient's approval. For example, I'm gonna say the coil for the head for brain. We're gonna do a brain scan. So the next question, number 2, it says, when the scan room is set up and the patient has arrived and is ready to be greeted, walk through all the steps that need to be taken prior to the patient entering the scan room. So we're going to be using AIDED, which is acknowledge, introduce, duration, explanation, and thanks. So we're going to start by, of course, verifying the correct patient, that we have the correct patient by their first and last name, followed by their date of birth. And if we have any other questions that might help the radiologist make a further diagnosis of the patient's condition. So we have to make sure that everything on that form, the questionnaire, is correctly filled out. And I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say one is missing. I will approach a patient saying, hey, Mr. Garcia, I see that you're missing this question right here. You said you've had an aneurysm in the past. Okay, did anybody by any chance, did any surgery happen inside you that was an aneurysm clip might have been placed? No? Okay. All right, so I just make sure that the patient, doesn't have an aneurysm clip, because that's one of the most fatal devices that a patient can have inside their head during an MRI scan. So after I verify that the patient has no metal or ferrous items, they're completely checked and cleared and ready to enter the scan room, I also have to make sure I am also not walking in with any other ferrous items, such as my watch, my phone, my badge. And yes, and make sure the third question, now we'll go to the third question. It says, the patient is ready to enter the scan room. Walk through all the steps that need to be taken during patient setup and positioning. So right here, it says enter the scan room, walk through all the steps that need to be taken. So we're gonna bring the patient in. But, as I said earlier, we need to check one more time that everything's been signed properly, that we have no metal or any other items within our body, not within us, with us, and that any jewelry or any expensive items from the patient is stored away. So I'm going to ask the patient, Mr. Garcia, can you please lay down right here in this MRI table? I'm going to ask you to relax, and this is an emergency button. You're going to be pressing these buttons once and twice to alert me if you feel any discomfort during the MRI process. I'm gonna be also giving you this headset. Just put them over your ear, because the MRI machine, it is very, very loud. Okay, sir? Now lay still. We're gonna be putting this coil around your head, and we're gonna position the laser beam at the glabella of the brain to get a correct MRI scan. And that will be all for my video submission for week 2. I apologize. I know I'm outside. I just got out of work, and I forgot I had to do this video submission. Thank you.